Thank you for tuning in to Single Sister Travel. This is Travel Tip Tuesday. I am going to be giving you some updates on the Real ID, but before we get into that, please, if you have not subscribed, do that down below and hit the bell next to it so that you are notified when I upload a new video. Okay, Real ID. If you haven't seen the first video, very quickly, you're going to have a real ID in order to fly domestically. If you do not have a real ID, you need to carry your passport. You can go into the DMV to apply for your real ID. If you choose to renew your ID by mail, in the top right hand corner of your ID, they will give you your license, but it will say federal limits apply. And you will have to carry your passport with you to fly domestically. Now, this also will affect other modes of transportation, so land and sea. If you are taking a cruise, you will have to have your passport. If you're taking Amtrak, you're going to have your passport or that real ID um, to board Amtrak. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Okay, another reason why you may not be aware of it, there were 12 states and plus California that applied for an extension. So I don't know what happened, why they didn't notify us before, but you'll get notified when, like I said, when you have to renew your ID between now and October 1st of 2020. So these are the states that applied for an extension: Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maine, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Oregon, Hawaii, Montana, and Minnesota. If you live in any of those states, you will have it in your envelope for your renewal of your driver's license if you have not already received it. Okay, tips for travel. Lots of people, more and more people I'm noticing are starting to travel solo. So I have a couple of tips for you, but they are good for groups and families because you can never be too safe. Before you leave, if you're traveling internationally, before you leave, make 4 or 5 copies of your passport. Along with that, a copy of your flight itinerary, the hotel name, and phone number. You're going to leave that with your emergency contact here in the States. Once you are abroad, once you have checked into your hotel and you got your room number, email, text, or call your contact home in the US and give them your room number. In the event someone needs to get a hold of you, it is so much faster to give your room number and they will patch that call straight through. Also, know the proximity of the nearest U.S. embassy to the hotel where you are staying. In the event of the emergency, you want to know where that U.S. embassy is, and it is also suggested from Red Cross in their safety tips. Know which natural disasters are possible in the area that you are traveling to. So if you are traveling somewhere that's prone to hurricanes, you need to know that what to do in case of an emergency. Pack your initial certificate vaccination. If you are traveling somewhere where you're going to have vaccinations, you want to keep that certificate handy and reachable, because just like your passport, you have to present it to the country before entering um, that country. So wherever you're going, you number one, know if you need to have vaccinations, and if you do, keep the certificate handy. Keep your destination emergency number handy. In the United States, we know it is 911. What is it for the country where you'll be visiting? You need to have that. Program that in your phone. If you take travel notes, write that on the very first page, somewhere where it is very easily accessible. You can download the Red Cross app on your phone. They'll keep you updated or notify you in the event of an emergency, a disaster, and where to go and what to do. On the U.S. State Department, you can download their free Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's in the abbreviated STEPS. This program will allow you to receive important information from the embassy about safety conditions in your destination country, helping you make informed decisions about your travel plans. It will help the U.S. Embassy contact you in an emergency, whether natural disaster, civil unrest, or a family emergency. The embassy will contact you. It will help it will help family and friends get in touch with you in the event of an emergency. So if you are out on a tour, something happens at home, they try to get a hold of you, they can go through this STEP program. The embassy would then notify you. A wonderful program. And let's see, make a plan. Just like you do at home, have a plan in place with if you're traveling with someone or even by yourself. Have a plan. Number one, like I said, know where the U.S. Embassy is at in proximity where your hotel is if you are traveling by yourself. If you're traveling with a group or with the family, have a plan as to where you guys will meet, what the phone numbers to call. I would suggest um, downloading the STEP program on all phones in that party that's traveling because you guys can notify each other through the embassy if it's an emergency. Otherwise, contact the hotel. Um, if you guys are separated, let the other parties know. Contact the hotel. I will call them and tell them, I'm located here. I got separated from my group, and this is where I'm at. And then lastly, know the evacuation routes and emergency exits at the hotel where you are staying. In the event of an emergency, everyone is scrambling, they don't know where to go, what to do. If you know the evacuation plan, it makes life a lot simpler. It's not going to be any less chaotic because an emergency panic sets in. So those are your tips for today on Travel Tip Tuesday. If you found this informative, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others. Leave your comments down below. I'll be sure to answer them on the next episode of Travel Tip Tuesdays with Single Sister Travels.